This is the Howie Rose Variety Show. Welcome to the show.
Nice.
Thank you.
I know
Thanks.
we've had the other half of Mevlana on the show before, including Jess Magic, who is she still in the band? Is that in contention?
No, she moved.
Okay.
She moved to the Cape, so she got sick of winter. She couldn't take Burlington anymore, and she moved on. So, but we keep making music.
Cool. So let's put on your latest album in the background.
Okay, go for it.
So, I showed somebody a picture of our album, and then like other, pictures of us, and they were like, "What's up with all the watermelons?" And I was like, "Yeah, what is up with all the water? What was the story?" I was trying to remember our story.
The watermelons came up because when I met with Michael Heaney, who was our photographer, we were hashing out how, what the look was, and, I said we were going for, like, new romantic, liquid sky, like, feel look. And he was like, oh, well, what about a pink backdrop? I have this great pink backdrop. And I was like, oh, pink's awesome. Love pink. Let's go with it. And then we felt like we needed, like, props or something. And initially we were going to use corn. And we were like, we'll get corn. We'll all hold ears of corn. Because the yellow and the pink would look really cool. And then we were like, that might be weird to, like, just be holding corn.
Huh.
And then I don't know if he or I recommended the watermelon. And then we started talking about smashing watermelons and Gallagher and, like, all that stuff. And then we talked about doing the foot into the watermelon. And then he suggested we call the album Corn and have a watermelon on the album. So
Why?
then, just because.
This mic isn't on.
Just because.
Now it is.
Hello? Is it really? I don't know. So yeah, why corn and watermelon? What's the connection? And then popcorn and watermelon.
I don't even know at this point.
That's-
It just sort of like evolved. Or devolved.
Yeah, because I was trying to tell the story, and then I was like, is there a story? And then I was like, it's just kind of weird and funny and silly.
Yeah. I mean, because essentially popcorn's, because the album's kind of pop. It's
Poppy.
pretty poppy, and it's a little corny. So it's a little tongue-in-cheek. It's a little cheeky. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened.
What happened?
Yeah. Because I mentioned that, Michael was like, call it Corn and have watermelons on the cover. And then I mentioned that to everybody, and then somehow it just became Popcorn.
Yeah, we liked it. Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of like unanimous. Oh.
Go.
Mariah's
getting an important phone call.
She's very popular, this one. It's hard to pin her down.
So on this particular show, on this particular station, if the cover, came about because the creative people involved were very high at the moment, that would be perfectly okay. If there's no limits.
I don't think we were
content.
at that point, but definitely afterwards.
I'm glad you mentioned that it's a little bit corny, because like you have this whole, it's not just an album, it's a theater piece.
Yep.
That took me by surprise. I had no idea I was going to the Off Center, not just to see a band, but to actually see a full-fledged, fully fleshed out rock opera.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we try and do, and usually what we do, when we play at the Drag Ball or we played at Pride and actually the Art Hop before, we do like theatrics. We bring on the theatrics, and then once in a while we will, bust out the synthesizers and do more of a, I guess, stripped back, non-theatrical thing. But this last time, I really wanted to do a full show. Like, when we do the Drag Ball, we get, 20 minutes. And we have to cram as much as we can into 20 minutes. And it was nice to do it at the Off Center and have free reign, set up the night before, have all our junk everywhere. Because it's, it's a big, cumbersome show. with
Yeah.
the projectors and the set and the costumes and however many people were in it, 14, 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
It was quite the production. Yeah, the projections were super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked out. It was very like, we didn't get to test that. Like, life got a little crazy, and I wasn't able to do a test on that. So the night before, in my mind, I was like, the projections were going to be the light, and we weren't going to need any real lighting. Our lighting tech was going to be like, start the projector and let it ride. But it ended up being too dark at times, and so the night before I had to like sit with the script and like write through it. I was like, we need light here, we need light there, it needs to be dim here, and this, that, and Jordan Gullickson came in and made that happen and made it look good. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it did not look like the lighting cues were, not fully fleshed out. At no point did I think like, oh, they're just winging it with the projections and the lighting.
Yeah, no, I mean, we spent a couple hours before the show kind of going through it and being like, no, here's where it gets a little dark. We can't see Rebecca at all. I totally had a panic moment the night before. I was like, the show's ruined. We have to cancel it. It's a little dramatic.
Is it stressful for you having such a huge production on your shoulders? I mean, you're the writer. It's your vision.
Well, we all write it. I mean, we all put it's collaborative, Like, I mean, we all kind of build the framework, and then, I mean, once it's set, and then the rehearsals, everyone's fleshing it out, Like, everyone's coming to the table with, dance moves and theatrics and that sort of stuff. But it is stressful. I mean, especially when you're, getting right up to the final hours and you're having, wardrobe malfunctions and weird techie things, But it's worth it in the end. It's so much fun, So.
Now tell us the origins of the band name for those who don't know.
Oh, Rue Mevlana was actually a street I lived on in Belgium.
Huh.
And I don't know, just started calling it that. I know it's like it's a mouthful. You say it to someone, you're like, I'm in a band. It's called Rue Mevlana. They're like, Rumawa. And then you have to spell it out, and then they're like, this is too much, I can't deal. And so I've talked several times about changing it. We brought that to the table
did.
a couple times, and then sometimes people are into it, sometimes people aren't. Like, maybe we should go with Rue M.
Well, if you're going in the theme of street names,
Yeah.
I mean, you could take a Burlington street name and just you could be
Rue Church.
yeah.
Rue Church.
Could happen.
That could work. Yep.
That's
so
kind of a good idea.
I know.
It
But at this
seems-
point, we've done like, this is our 4th full-length album, and it's like, we changed the name now. I guess, lots of bands do it.
I guess it does happen.
Yeah.
It seems like it just seems weird to do it now.
I know.
And
I know.
It's too European for America.
Right.
Well,
Merca.
then maybe you guys need to go to Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Then your name will be like boring.
Exactly. Exactly. You're so right. All right.
And no one will be able to remember the name of your band.
All right, we got to go to Amsterdam.
And then you'll be like, we should change it to Blodgett Street.
I think we should change it to Blodgett Street anyway.
Okay, so tell us what is the story of...
Your mic
Popcorn?
sounds like you're on the phone.
I am on the phone. I'm here in Amsterdam. I'm actually calling from a payphone booth on Rue Mevlana.
Nice.
Excellent.
And I'm interviewing local people here who live on the street. Ask them what they would think of naming a band after the street. We've had many thumbs up so far. They're like, yeah, it's the best street to live on. Except my landlord's raising the rent and kicking me out.
Oh.
So what was the name of the show? Was the name of the show?
The show was called Motley Rue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack, as far as I could tell, was pretty.
It's pretty much that album. I mean,
Yeah.
we took a couple songs from the other 3 records and did those, and then we did a couple covers.
What were the covers?
We did Rasputin, which is a Boney M song, which I'm
Ooh.
slightly obsessed with.
Boney M.
Do you know that?
I do.
I love Boney M.
Boney M. Some amazingly controversial album covers.
Oh yeah.
Like-
They have the one where they're all like naked.
Yeah.
Love for Sale, I think it was.
Yes, and
Yeah.
aren't they in chains? Isn't
Yep,
there like
they're in chains
like
and
black people in
naked.
chains
Yep,
and
yep.
the white people in
Yep.
gold?
Yep, exactly. No, is there any white people on the cover? I don't think there is. I don't
Okay.
think
That's
there is.
racist.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
And they were
Rage of-
German?
Well, initially they're from the islands, like the Caribbean islands, and then they moved to Germany. And actually, this is a fun fact, but Frank Farian is the one who produced Boney M, who later produced Milli Vanilli.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
totally hear that.
Yeah, you
I
can hear it. You can hear
totally
the early.
that.
Girl, you know it's true.
Did Milli Vanilli have more than one bona fide hit?
No, because they got caught with the whole like lip syncy thing in the '90s after winning their
Their Grammy or whatever.
their Grammy,
Yeah.
which sealed their fate.
Yeah, we've had an ongoing campaign here at the Howie Rose Variety Show to restore Milli Vanilli's Grammy. We don't think
Oh, yeah.
that, yeah, sure, so maybe they were a little bit, whatever, skirting around, actually singing, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
they earned it.
They earned it. I mean, they lip sync really well.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that actually the reason they didn't sing is because they're both mute from birth. Damaged, chromosomal.
Is that
inherited.
true?
And we don't feel like that should be held against them. We feel like they sang the best they could considering they're mute, and we want to restore Milli Vanilli's Grammy to them.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Well, you know what I say now at this point? I don't know. I just feel like everybody lip syncs. It's just like an accepted norm at this point.
I think though it's different when someone else, when you like you have a ghost voice singing for you though. You know what I mean?
It
Like
wasn't their.
it wasn't their voices. Like that. It's
Oh.
same thing with CNC Music Factory. Martha Wash did the sang the Everybody Dance Now. Martha Wash, who was in Sylvester, and she was in the Weather Girls. She was the voice, and then on the video, it's Zelma doing it and just
she
lip
wasn't-
syncing it. And,
Well, I mean, in the world of, if it was straight up just about, the music, that'd be one thing, but in the pop world, it's so much about image and presentation. If
Exactly.
Yeah, and
there are
that's.
people who look good, and then there are other people who can sing, and they're not necessarily always the same people.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that brings us to auto-tune.
Auto-tune, I'm a big fan.
Mm.
It's just an effect. It's the same thing as putting like a pedal through your guitar. You know what I mean? Like that's my thought on that. I love me some auto-tune.
Wait, I don't know what auto-tune is.
That's like the T-Pain effect that we use.
Oh, okay. That
Sometimes.
kind of.
We use it.
Yeah.
We use it on the album.
Well, used subtly, it just just makes your pitch perfect.
It makes your pitch
You use it
perfect,
in an extreme way, you get the.
which is cool too, and it can be really fun. I don't know,
Can you make that sound again?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Just loop that. We'll loop that.
Exactly. Come over to my studio. You'll be on the next album.
Here, this is what Boney M looks like for those of us who can see my computer screen.
They're so bad,
Wow.
and by bad I mean rad.
I love. It's so. It's dreamy.
Or are they like time travelers and
Oh yeah, they
Wait.
were from a different, like, parallel universe.
What year was that? Do you think?
That was 78.
That's exactly what I would have guessed.
Yeah,
Maybe we
78.
should
That
do-
was on their album Night Flight to Venus.
Wow, you're a serious fan.
Dude, I love me some Boney M. I'm a big disco fan though. I love disco.
Bee Gees. What do you think about Bee Gees?
The Bee Gees are cool. I mean, the Bee Gees kind of came in, and disco originated. It was it was a black and gay thing, and then the Bee Gees came along and they did a great job, and they have great grooves, but they kind of put it up into the stratosphere where it was before. It was kind of an underground thing. And then it saturated the markets, and then there was that whole like backlash against disco.
Yeah, well,
in like '79, right around when I was born.
Yeah, the whole thing about disco sucks and just burning
exactly
Bee Gees albums.
That's kind of just racist and homophobic.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
It's interesting 'cause I grew up in the midst of the
disco
the
sucks.
white suburban disco sucks.
Disco sucks. I mean, I grew up with that too.
It was a homophobic.
Yeah. I didn't either. I mean, I used to be like, yeah, disco sucks. While in the meantime, I'm like taking my parents' ABBA records and like jamming out to them, like. But I'm still like, disco sucks.
What's just so funny, also, just like the whole ignorant kind of mainstream white suburban culture in the '70s, like it never occurred to me or any of my friends that Queen was called Queen because their lead singer was obviously flamboyant.
Was a flamboyant queen.
We were like bad-mouthing disco and being homophobic at the same time.
And meanwhile, you're watching what was the video where
Mercury.
he's got his mustache and he's in drag and he's like vacuuming around the house.
Yes.
I forget what song
I think
that
was the video that kind of killed their career. It was from Hot Space.
That's depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing. It reminds me of like the Pet Shop Boys' career in America was budding, and it ended because of this one video where the boys are better looking and more shirtless and more kind of erotically displayed than the girl.
It was probably Domino Dancing.
Yes,
then.
that's what it
yeah.
is. That's what it is.
But that's about the AIDS epidemic. I mean, at that point, AIDS was like serious and was ignored. So pop acts were bringing attention to that, and they stuck their neck out for it.
Domino Dancing, is that one's All Day, All Night?
Yep.
All day, all night.
All day, domino dancing. Yeah.
That was the one. So there's two hot, hairless, shirtless guys romping on the beach, and they're supposedly fighting over a girl, but you don't really see as much of her.
Yeah, exactly.
They're lurking in the background.
That's what she thinks.
And that single video, sadly, just all the FM programmers just like dropped Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And it's just there's no way around. There's no way to explain it other than homophobia.
Yeah.
At an industry-wide level.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Being kind of rigidly enforced.
Yeah.
Out of fear of, oh no, we can't be the one station that.
I concur. Depressing. We have a song about Queen, actually, on our album called "We Rock Out to Queen."
Okay, what track is that? What number?
5.
Okay, let's take a quick break and listen to a little bit of that.
We're here with Room of Lana here on the Howie Rose Variety Show.
Hello.
Okay, turn up CD1. And if you want to win a date with Nathan or Mariah, give us a call, 861-9666. You can also, alternatively, or in addition, win a copy of their new CD, Popcorn.
Woohoo!
Okay, so check this out. What's the name of this track again?
We rock out to Queen.
We rock out to Queen. We rock out to Queen. We rock out to Queen. We rock out to Queen. The motion of the night has rocked the lizard. When it comes to licking thigh, Mercury is master. We rock out to Queen. We rock out to Queen. We rock out to Queen. We rock out to Queen.
That was in the show, right?
Yep, that was in the show. Allison came out pregnant. She is, I don't know, 7 months pregnant.
I know, that was amazing.
Yep, she was the pregnant authority. Keeping everybody in line. In her shoulder pads.
Oh my god. god, those were amazing.
They were really, really good.
So yeah, so you have like 2 guys and like 10, 11 girls in the show.
At the Motley Rue show, yes. There was about 13 of us.
It was impressive. I know people just kept on coming out.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, because there's been a lot of costume changes. I didn't realize. And then at the end, when you all come out, I was like, whoa.
Yep. We all crammed onto that stage right at the end. It was fun, though.
But you played a couple different roles at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all were kind of different roles. I was into, like, let's change our clothes as much as we can,
Yeah.
So, you come out and do a song or two, and then run and change, and while someone else does a song, and then you come on. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, we did the whole. The show was split up into like 3 acts, if you will. Like the first one was Liquid Sky, so it had a very, like going into the club and like having a good time, and then the new girl was there, and we were all kind of like giving her a hard time, and then it morphed into Ovid's Metamorphosis, stories from that. We did the story.
Literate.
Yeah, we did the story of Echo and Narcissus and Hermaphroditus, which was fun. We could have done more, but
I know.
I don't.
never caught that.
Maybe we'll do a sequel, and we'll add more stories from Ovid's Metamorphosis.
Well, now
or
all
something.
this work and energy for 2 performances on the same
Two
night.
performances,
are you-
one night.
Are you tempted to, do more of this show?
This one?
I guess not. Huh?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I know people, like Pamela, for Mika, she mentioned she was like you should do it again.
For sure. Here we are promoting and plugging it.
I know.
People are being like, oh, okay, I want to go see this. When is it?
I know.
You
I
missed
just
it.
You missed it. Well, we videotaped it. Or we had Becky Gullen and Justin were our directors of photography, and they filmed both shows with 4 cameras. So we have a lot of
Editing ahead
of us for that. And then that'll air on VCam, and it'll be online. We'll put it out that way.
And you'll sync up your studio recordings.
No.
the
We
soundtrack.
have the live. I have a Zoom recorder that I plugged into the soundboard, so it'll be the live audio from the.
I thought it was brilliant the way a lot of the vocals were pre-recorded and you were lip syncing.
Yeah, for the
speaking of Milli Vanilli,
yeah, exactly.
It just sounded so much better.
Well, what we were doing with that was actually all the singing was done live.
Okay, I meant the speaking.
The speaking.
Yeah.
So like there were little scenelets at certain points, and anytime there was a scenelet, we wanted to go like kung fu style, like so your mouths didn't really like sync up, so it was like obvious that we were like lip syncing. But anytime anyone's singing, it's the real deal. Like when Hermaphroditus was going on, even though the 3 of us who sing that song weren't on stage, we were backstage singing it.
And that was fun to do.
Oh, that's
That was really
interesting.
fun. It was
Yeah.
neat to like hide behind. Like when we did Rasputin, I was like behind the like curtain on the side, like singing my part, because I didn't want to go on stage because I didn't want to take away from the action that was going on.
That's really interesting.
Initially, I was on stage, and then it just seemed too crowded. Like there was too much going on, and I was like, I gotta go. They gotta do the Casa Chalk on their own, So yeah. So I don't know. We might do it again, but we might put together a different show.
Cool.
Yep. Like that's what Hannah says all the time. She's like, I love that our shows are like one-offs, So that way, every time you come and see Room Mevlana, you don't know what you're gonna see. Like it's not gonna be the same show. It's not gonna be the same set. It's gonna be completely different. I kind of like that. We're a small town and we're not going on tour. Like we're
a show like that though would do well, like in New York, promoted to the right audience.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't have any connections down there, I'm a terrible promoter. I don't know what to do. And we don't have a manager.
There's a place in Bushwick that could potentially be perfect. Oh, 2 places. There's a place called Club Bazaar.
Oh, that sounds perfect, actually.
Heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little bit small,
Right.
How bizarre.
but it's right around the corner from where a bunch of Burlington people live, and yeah,
Oh,
that
that'd be-
show that I saw would do really well. People would love it at Club Bazaar,
Yeah,
right in the heart of Bushwick.
if you could get people to it.
I don't think it would take that much promotion.
Really?
A few full color posters with the right words.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I never know the right words.
I really liked the big poster that we hung had said electronic cabaret.
The electronic cabaret.
And
yeah.
I really liked that because I
Well, how
felt
would you
like-
describe it?
Yeah, how would you describe it?
You know, I would definitely play up the camp aspect
Uh-huh.
of it, and the fully fleshed out costume, like pop opera.
Oh, yeah. Opera. That's a good album
Yeah, that's a
title
good
right
one.
there.
Yeah.
Actually, do you by chance know the awesome band The Associates?
No.
You must check them out.
Okay.
This guy, Billy McKenzie, he was gay. He killed himself at a young age. Very
Ooh.
tragic.
It's depressing.
Amazing voice, like an operatic voice. Yeah, amazing. One of my favorite acts. And I stole that from them. Their greatest hits is called Popera.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think there's not a glut of what you guys are doing,
yeah.
and yeah, I think that people like that kind of stuff down in New York
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's so many musical acts of all genres that just basically play their music.
Yeah.
And maybe they have a few projections or something, but there's not a lot of like fully fleshed out theater
Theatrical,
pieces.
yep.
That is all music.
Yep. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Just one song after another.
So, Nathan, Jarvis, what is your process? You start with
For show or a
just
song?
at the very beginning. Well, I guess you gotta start with the music, right?
Well, I always start. Usually, I'll have like a chord progression and maybe a beat, and then most of the time, then I'll give that to either Rebecca or Hannah or Marya, and then we'll get together and kind of write the melody, like someone will come with a melody. I don't know, it's kind of different each time. Sometimes I sit at the keyboard and I'll write it out and I'll sing the melody and then it's done. And then other times it's very like methodical and like electronic-y, like MIDI and all that stuff.
What program do you work in?
Logic. Yep. I started out with Mark of the Unicorn, Performer, in the 90s, 95. I don't even know if Mark of the Unicorn is a thing anymore.
Did you get it because of the name?
No. I got it because I went with my brother. I knew I wanted to do like synthesized music, so I saved up my pennies and bought this cheap little synthesizer, and then
Do you remember what synth it was?
It was the Kawai K11. I love that little synth. It died. Yeah, and so I started doing stuff with that, and then and then in the early 2000s, I was working with this place called the Dream Tribe, which actually was right across the hall from Big Heavy World when Big Heavy World first started. And
Above Stone Soup, that location, or
no, it was actually above where it was on Church. It was, oh God, what's there now? The salon, not Barnes and Noble.
Stephen and
Stephen and Burns. Yeah, it was upstairs there, and you had to take the elevator up, which you never knew if it was actually going to work. So we take the elevator up, and I basically like sat in the studio and like sort of just watched how they ran with Logic, and I was like, oh, I can do this, I can learn this, and then eventually like got my own stuff to be able to work at home. But yeah, and then just keep trying to change it up. I want a new synthesizer though.
Yeah, what makes you salivate?
Oh,
Gear-wise.
I really want a Moog. I've never worked with a Moog. You know, like I'd like the little fattier. I don't
Analog.
know. Analog. I'd like to play with analog because I don't really, I have one analog synth, but I'm not very good at it, and it's not a really sophisticated one. I'd like a Moog.
Roland one that
Yeah.
I love. I love
You
that
love the
synth.
Roland
Oh
one.
my god, I love that synth
Yep.
so much.
Yep.
Oh.
Because often I work with, Workstation, like the Korg, the Triton. That's my,
Uh-huh.
and I put expansion cards in it and find new sounds. But now it's like you buy software that has all the new sounds on it. Most of this album was done with new software and not a whole lot of synth. The synth was lied on top afterwards.
Let's set up Freak Out Friday.
Freak Out Friday. Okay, Rebecca. Rebecca has an amazing voice.
Yeah, she's the gifted voice one in
She
the group.
has she's like a powerhouse. Like she's hardcore diva. Like woman can belt it out. So we got together and wrote this little ditty together. Like I had I was like, we're gonna write a song in 3 chords, and it's like 3 chords looped over and over and over again, and then together we came up with the party lyric.
And let's talk about, so there's the story. I mean, I love it because it's like, Mariah's talking on it, and it's like,
Oh no, you're talking about That Girl Can Dance.
oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh no. No. That's a different story. That's a whole different story. So that came about. I had written a song. I'd written the beat and the hook that's in it, and I had dropped vocals on it, which were horrid, absolutely horrid. So then they came, but I loved the hook. I was like, this is a great hook. We need something else. And then we got drunk and did this.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's conceptually cool.
Yes.
I think it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Yeah, you describe this one. This is yours.
Well, it seemed to me like, I don't even know if mirror is mentioned, but it seemed to me like Mariah seeing herself
Ooh.
on the dance floor. Oh, it's not this? Oh, I totally thought oh, cool, she's seeing herself on the dance floor, and she's getting involved with herself, and is this relationship gonna happen or not? I totally thought that it was about.
I love
because in the
that
very
idea.
beginning you say I got tired by being stood up by date after date, so I decided to get freaky with myself. That's what
this is a good take on this one.
So I was like, oh, this is so
Loving
cool.
that.
She sees herself on the dance floor. She's coming on to herself. She doesn't know where it's gonna go.
Oh.
See, that's what we'll have to do in the next
She
show.
playing that one?
Yeah, we have to now.
I think we played it last week.
Yes, we did.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so here is That Girl Can Dance by Mevlana.
I'm here on the dance floor. I see you soar. I hear you roar. I want some more. I wanna know you. Is this romance? I'm in a trance.
Look at her. Crazy moves. Figure eight. Milky Way. What should I do? Do I go over to her? Or should I just keep staring? What do I do? What do I do? What would you do?
I'm here on the dance floor. I hear you roar. I want some more. I wanna know you. Is this romance? I'm in a trance.
Do I go back to her, or is this where I'm like, are we walking out the door together, or are we like parting ways? So I find myself questioning romance.
Mevlana here on the Howie Rose Variety Show. It's 861 WOMM in the 802. So I can't wait for the sequel to that song because I want to know what happens next.
Oh.
Because I was imagining Mariah was like trying to, pick up herself in this club.
Well, I think it's really interesting that you say that because it kind of, I mean, when we were, like hashing it out, when the story and the lyrics and what we were doing with the song, I wasn't really thinking that specifically, but as you say it, then I had this crazy experience where I went out dancing by myself one night, and the headlining DJ was spinning, and it was a great night of dancing, and I was just like on fire that night. I was just able to like really do my thing, and it was a lot of fun. And he just like scooped me up and like took me to the after hours, and we had this like magical romantic thing for the night. And I was like, oh my God, I was that girl. I was like, I think you and I had just finished mixing the song, and I was like, it's like the song that we just wrote, and except for I was that girl. And so
So it was the mirror.
So it kind of was. I didn't mean for it to be, but it kind of was. Yeah.
So like maybe, it's interesting. You mix the song and then you live it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a very livable situation. It's not like, and that's kind of what I like about it. Like, we've all been stood up, and it's like we're supposed to go out on this date and have fun with this person, and then you end up not, and do you pout at home, or do you like do your thing anyway, or like we've all been there, so it's like a livable thing. But it felt very specific in this situation, and it was kind of the timing of it was like, oh,
I don't think I've been there actually.
no,
No.
you've never like,
I don't think I've ever gotten stood up.
oh my
date.
gosh,
I don't think I've ever been out on a date.
Whatever.
Well, what about the? You told a story about when you were in the Putney school. You're like the last day of senior year, and this girl you'd known, she
crushed my heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
She asked me if I was like a sophomore on the final day of she was a senior, I was a senior. And on the final day, she was picking up some pottery pieces from the pottery studio that I was like managing. And she was like, it was like she had never even noticed me before. And I'd been like looking at her all year. And this is a small school, like 130 kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I had been like, in love with her all year. And then she comes up to, I'm like, oh my God, here's my chance. I'm actually interacting with her, handing her her pottery. And she's like, are you a student here? Are you a sophomore? I was like,
Oh
man.
my God.
So I took her pottery and I smashed it. I said, no, God damn it. I'm a senior just like you.
I love you. Why don't you kiss me?
And then I kicked her down the stairs, threw her pottery. There's your pottery.
See, so you understand.
And I made a vow never to love again.
Understandable.
But other than that, anyways.
You've never been stood up otherwise or hurt by love.
No, but that's a good story. So now are we going to talk about track 8? Track 8.
Oh, I have track 8. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, Lopty Neck.
Oh, Lopty Neck.
Lopty Neck.
So
This is we have a hardcore, nerdy Star Wars fanatic contingent out there listening to the show.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And and they're already jizzing all over themselves.
Salivating.
At the name of that track, they're
Well-
like, what?
So we don't even need to describe what Lopty Neck is.
Yeah, but there's the other 3 listeners
Right.
that don't know.
So Lopty Neck was in the original Star Wars, not Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. So what is that?
The third original
Yeah.
movie.
So episode 6.
Yeah.
Oh God, so confusing.
Episode 6, but not in the when Lucas went in and CGI'd the crap out of Return of the Jedi. Because what he did was he took Lopty Neck out and inserted, like, I don't know, it's like the Jedi rap or something. I don't know. It was horrid. It was horrid. But I was so excited to go and see the revamp because I thought they would, like, remix Lopty Neck and, like, expand it because I heard that the scene was expanded. So I was like, yeah! And, like, I go and I was like, what is this? I was so
You
upset.
threw your popcorn.
I
heard
threw
you
my
got physically
popcorn.
ejected from the theater.
I threw my popcorn at the screen. I ran to the screen. I started clawing at the screen. I ripped it up. They hauled me off to jail in chains.
I remember, and then Mariah had to come bail you out.
She had to come bail me out, and I was like delirious and
And you
singing
stalked.
Lopty Neck, Lopty Neck, Lopty Neck, like
And
over
marching.
and over and over again.
And then you were determined to stalk George Lucas until...
No. I was right. I wrote him off by that point. So, so then, I don't know. I always would watch. So I'm a nerd. I have Return of the Jedi on Laserdisc because it's the only way to watch Return of the Jedi in widescreen without all the junk on it, unless you're gonna bootleg it or whatever. But I have the Laserdisc.
Which means you have a Laserdisc player,
I
presumably.
do. I got it for $20 at Resource. I was really excited. I know, right? And so I was watching it when I got it, and I was like, "Oh, Lopty Neck's amazing." So I went online and I found the sheet music, surprisingly, for Lopty Neck, like an official sheet
Weird.
music, and ordered it and then I told Shelby, I was like, "Can you sing in Huttese?" And she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "You know, the language Jabba the Hutt speaks." And she was like, "I don't know what Jabba the Hutt is." Like, she'd never seen any
Oh
of the
my
movies.
God,
She's never
really?
seen. She still hasn't. She still hasn't. But she sang it like a champ. She sang it like she is Cy Snoodles. You know?
Translate.
Cy Snoodles sang it she's the Muppet that sings it in Return of the Jedi.
Interesting, you call them Muppets.
Well, Jim Henson did
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Jim Henson did Yoda and Cy
Oh,
Snoodles. It was
yeah.
the Henson team, the Henson Magic Team.
Magic Team, Henson Jim.
I didn't actually know that, but you can see it.
They should have had Oogie
Yeah.
on there.
What?
Oogie is Yoda.
Yeah, I was gonna be in Star Wars, but they wouldn't pay me enough.
You're too ornery to be in Star Wars.
Nah, those guys, clowns.
Maybe they can put you in the
They
new
wanted-
Star Wars.
They wanted me to share a dressing room with, I don't know, some freaky
Some
Jabba the
Wookiee.
Hutt, fat, smelly puppet. I was like, no way.
How dare
I need my own trailer.
Sure, Oogie. Sure, we believe you. That's Oogie. He's a little bitter that,
I'm not bitter. I just call it as I see it.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
show sucks. The Uncle Floyd show, I should have stayed with them.
Are you familiar with the Uncle Floyd show?
No, what's the
It's just, semi-legendary, but,
You
not-
have to be from Jersey to understand
Yeah, it's a
that,
regional thing. And,
It's the best show ever. You guys don't know a goddamn thing about radio.
so Oogie quit the Uncle Floyd show or was fired or something, and
Shut up.
somehow ended up here. He likes to drink at Esox and pass out on the couch here in the green room, and thinks he's part of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, Esox.
You guys, the band, you guys are great. I love your music, but these clowns, they don't know first thing about a radio show.
It's just that's the magic of transparent radio.
Oogie, we love him. I mean, I was a big fan of the Uncle Floyd show. I grew up on the Uncle Floyd show. It was a very rinky-dink, no-budget, pseudo-children's show that was, way too risque to actually be a children's show.
Oh, really?
It was on, Channel 6. It kept on getting booted off of stations.
Is that like Wonder Chosen?
Well, not quite that. Do you guys know Wonder Chosen?
No.
Okay, gotta turn you on to Wonder Chosen. Anyways, enough about the Uncle Floyd show.
Was it a TV thing?
Yeah, it was a TV show. And it was pre-cable. It was on the high channels.
Oh,
So it'd be
okay.
on like channel 68 after between the Home Shopping Network and like some foreign language.
What year
thing.
was this?
This was
Yeah.
like the late 70s, early 80s,
Oh.
and
I don't know how I
in
missed
Jersey.
it.
And
In the 60s, the high
Only in
channels?
Jersey?
There
no,
were
late
that.
70s, early 80s.
No, for the channels.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
68. It was on 68 for a long time.
Wow.
I didn't even think
I didn't
channel
even
60.
think channels went up that high.
Yeah, they only went up to 13 in my
No,
world.
there was VHF and UHF, and like they only go up to 13 on that dial, but
Yeah.
then they go all the way up to at least 68 on the other
Really?
dial.
I don't think our
And-
TV did that.
That's
Yeah,
That's where you got the weird.
I guess
We had
that
to
is
beat the
true.
top of our TV all the time to make it to even work.
Yeah. Yeah. We
That
had
was
TV
our
like
jobs as kids.
that. Beat the
Yeah.
TV.
That'd be like, go hit the top of the TV. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Okay. it's
Now,
in
where'd you grow up, Nathan?
Oh, my dad was military, so we were all over. Hence why we were in Belgium and named for Rue Mevlana,
Right.
So yeah, we were all over.
So when you think of your youth, what locale or locales do you associate with your youth?
I associate Vermont, Burlington in particular, because my dad's originally from Burlington. So wherever we were, even though we'd stay places like 3 to 4 years at a time, we'd say, if someone was like, "Where are you from?" you said Burlington, Vermont, because that's like where my dad was from. So even though I never lived here, and I didn't move to Burlington until 98, 99.
At what age?
How old was I at that point? I don't even know. 20. So, yeah. Yeah. So, and now I'm never leaving. You can't get
Wow.
rid of me.
Really?
Yeah.
What if we gentrify this whole town into like a 4-season resort town
Well-
for yuppies and tourists?
Well, that's why I bought a house in the Old North End.
Ooh, smart.
So when that happens, I can sell it, and then maybe I'll move out to the country. I'll move out to Colchester, the country.
I think you have to leave the county to be in the country.
Oh,
Shoot.
Speaking of Colchester, there's a new go-kart place
Whoa.
that
Go-kart?
yeah, there's a new go-kart. You know Metro Rock, the new climbing gym behind Lowe's? It's all behind Lowe's.
Oh, yeah, and then there's the roller rink,
Right.
where we get to pretend that we're in Xanadu.
Oh.
And the Cosmic Matrix and I went to the go-kart place and mentioned the Howie Rose show. And next thing I knew, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I wanna underrate your show.
Really?
Here, you try out these go-karts. They go 20 miles an hour. They can go even faster. But
Oh my
they
God.
top. And yeah, you're racing around this track.
Ooh, that's fun.
And especially after having just seen the Demolition Derby races and such at the county fair there. In Essex
Did you go to
Junction.
those?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was so great.
Nice. I've
Cars
never done
flipping
that.
over and catching on fire.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was wild. We all swore that next year we're going to get, beater cars and be part of that. They do this figure 8 racing. It's actually a double figure 8. So the cars have to cross paths many times during the race.
Oh man.
That's how they
That's
crash
how
into each
it's
other
the-
and
yeah.
flip over. These giant truck tires that if you clip one of them, your car flips over and stuff. Yeah.
Wild.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's really very un-PC and very amazing. But we're gonna slowly change it to all like biodiesel, and veggie fuel
I would
cars.
love to see some Priuses run into each other on a figure 8.
Yeah, unfortunately though, they would probably the first time they had a little fender bender, they probably stopped running.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Just
not a
like-
big fan of Priuses.
You can't even hear them. They're dangerous. You're walking down the street, and then you just get killed by a Prius.
Right,
Yeah.
they need to have built-in audio sound of a loud engine.
Ooh, yeah. Little speaker.
Pre-recorded speaker.
Pre-recorded speaker.
That's hilarious.
And like some fake black smoke coming out
Oh, yeah.
of an exhaust pipe
Yeah.
with an odor added.
Mm.
That's really
Not sure where
funny.
we're going with this, but okay. So there's you and your locally known brother Seth,
Yes.
who was around here for years writing plays,
Mhm.
directing plays.
Mhm.
Are there any other Jarvises in the clan?
Yeah, I have 2 other brothers. One is in Arizona, and the other one is in New Hampshire. But my little nephew just started UVM, which is kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
So he's in Burlington now, which is neat.
I didn't know that. That's cute.
Yeah.
Is he the one who helped build the deck?
No, that was his little brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen to the to your rendition of the insanely cut track from the re-release of Return of the Jedi, Lapti Neck. Did I say that right?
Lopti.
Lapti
Lopti.
Neck. And does
Lopti.
that translate? Does it have?
It means work it out.
Means work it out.
Yeah.
The song. What is the song about? Since we're not going to understand.
It's pretty much about working
it out?
Yeah, working
Oh,
out.
working
like
out.
dancing and working out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Like working out,
Because
exercising.
obviously
or...
Jabba needs to work out a little bit.
Get a little bit less.
Is
So-
that why
Less
she
hot.
got
So
that?
Sai was like trying to encourage him to like,
Uh-huh.
Stop being a big, giant, enormous,
slug.
fat
Slug.
slug. Just...
I don't know. Jabba the Hutt might lose some of his sex appeal if he thinned down at all.
You're right. It's like, when yeah. No, I
There's
completely
a fetish
concur.
for Jabba the Huttness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've Googled that.
I see that. It's the slime. It's the slime.
Yeah, the slime factor.
Yeah, the slime
Yeah,
factor.
Yeah. So you think George Lucas? Well, let's listen to the song.
Yes, let's.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and speculate about
Listen to the
why
song.
this ever would have been cut from the re-release.
It was criminal.
Rue Mevlana here on the Howie Rose Variety Show. Check it out. Neck from Rue Mevlana's new album Popcorn, cover of a track from Star Wars Chapter 6. The third Star
Return
Wars
of-
movie, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
A song that was mysteriously removed from the reissue of the film.
Yeah.
Why do you suppose, do you think George Lucas felt that working out, that,
Working out wasn't going to work for Jabba. I read on some, fan forum, the Wikipedia or, something like that.
the
Wikipedia! That, what was the story behind this? Oh, he thought it was going to be a hit. He thought, Lopti Neck was going to, climb the charts. They actually released it as a single,
Wow.
a vinyl single.
Oh, nice.
And, there's remixes of it on it,
Wow.
but it was 83,
Okay, I gotta get
and it
that.
was in the Disco Sucks era, and the song is very disco-y, so it didn't
Right.
work.
It wasn't a big hit like.
It wasn't a
from
big
the
hit
first
like
Star Wars. There were some major hits.
Oh, yeah, the Mecca, is it
Yes.
Mecco?
Yeah, Mecco.
Or he, mixed all the
Right.
songs and did his disco version.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was timing, because that was 77.
Right.
And Return was 82?
I wouldn't know.
Uh-oh.
I
If
think you're
got
the
that
only Star
wrong,
Wars
I'm gonna
geek.
be
Oh no.
attacked by...
A Wookiee. An angry, angry Wookiee.
Okay, so moving along. So I'm really curious. So where did you actually grow up? You mentioned that you were an Army brat moving around the world. So where were these places, and what impact did they have on you, if any?
It was mostly East Coast. I think the most East Coast and Midwest, and then Europe. I was born in Germany, so but I don't remember that. I was too young when I left. And then, but I'd say Belgium was the most influential, because I was there between like 7 and 10. And we were on a NATO base, so it was like multicultural. Like we were all like, next door it was like an English family, and then there was an Indian family across the street, and then, a Swiss family, like it was really neat, but we all like hung out and played together. And then, true to American form, everybody spoke English, like, and there was no emphasis on like learning another language, which is really unfortunate. But it was cool to be in that atmosphere. The hard part was actually coming back to the States. We moved to the suburbs of DC, and like I missed out on like 4 years of American culture. And so we, me and my brothers arrived back to the States. We look weird because we got like European clothes on. We like, don't know, we haven't seen TV in this whole time. Like there was one channel that played Family Ties on like incessant loop, and then sha-la-la-la,
I love
and,
Family
like,
Ties.
and so we were such like weirdos, and it was actually harder on my older brothers because they were in high school at this point. So, I was still in grade school, being 11 or 12, but it was still like, the kids were like, you don't know who Tiffany is? Like, you don't know who New Kids on the Block are? Oh, my God.
What suburb of D.C. were you unfortunately consigned to?
Stafford County, Virginia, so it's just above Fredericksburg.
Okay, my folks live in Falls Church.
That's further north.
Okay.
Yeah, we were like 45 minutes south on 95.
So you were in the South. That's a whole different part of Virginia.
Yeah. It was like the edge of like the... But my father worked in D.C., so he had to make that commute. Poor guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a serious commute.
I know. I can't imagine sitting in traffic every day, both ways to and fro, in that kind of traffic.
Yeah, my dad did a 45-minute commute when traffic was okay, each way, every day, too.
Yeah.
New York City.
Yeah.
The Jersey suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
So what's next for Room Mevlana?
I want to make a few more videos. Like, I love making music videos, and aside from, like, editing the Motley Rue thing. We've got a couple in the can that just need to be edited.
All right. What did we do?
We've got Rush, and we've got Hermaphroditus, and I want to make a few more. And then we were talking about, like, since this one's so poppy and, like, upbeat and, like, it's like little ditties, happy little...
It's pretty poppy and upbeat.
Yeah, we were talking about going
dark.
Going dark and, like...
Dark net.
Yeah, like, just getting a little bit more serious and, like emotive.
Like death metal.
Yeah. Don't you think? I mean, we could try. I'm up for trying anything.
I bet Mariah's viola could fit into that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
By the way, I really like the way you mix the viola into the music on this album.
Oh, nice.
It's really unique because, musically it's pretty familiar sounding since, electronic music. And then there's this viola, but it's not like right out front. It's not like in your face being like, look at this, listen to this viola.
Yeah,
it's just like in there.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't hear that.
Yep.
Typically. It's good.
Well, Mariah's a genius behind her viola.
Aw, shucks.
Right, so this whole album, I noticed mixing credit is to the two of you.
Yes, there were a couple that we did together, and then a couple that she did, and then there's one or two that I ended up doing on my own. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of...
We sit together the whole time, Like,
Yeah.
I sit at the control, and she's like, turn that up. Turn that down. What is that god-awful sound that I'm hearing in my ear,
Yeah. And do you
And
ever,
I'm like, I don't know what it is.
do you ever get cranky and testy and bitchy? Either one
I
of you?
think I do sometimes, don't I? She never gets bitchy and cranky.
That's very, very flattering. I guess in that moment I don't. In life I definitely do. But I feel like I don't know. I think we work really well together in that, like, we're both strongly opinionated,
Oh yeah.
you know, like, but when we don't agree, it's just we don't agree. It's like the worst I ever get from you is like, no, I don't want to do that. And I say, okay.
And then, well, often what'll happen is she'll say, "Oh, that needs to be turned way down." I'll be like, "No, it's my favorite part." And then I throw a little hissy fit, and then I turn it down, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're probably right. That does sound a little bit better." That's kind of usually how it goes. And then I'm like, "Okay, fine, we'll turn that part down." My tail between my legs.
No, you know, it's not like pouty or, you know, you just have
No.
it's just, you know.
But I've heard it so many times, you know, like since I'm producing it.
You lose objectivity.
I lose objectivity. I don't really know what I'm hearing anymore. I'm like, I think that sounds good. I don't know. It's nice when you can like finish a track and then leave it for a month and then come back and be like, oh, it needs to be done differently, you know. So we were a little bit under the gun too because we wanted to have the CDs for the Motley Crue show to sell. So so there was a little bit of a rush at the end where we were like, we must get it done. Yeah.
By the way, this track that we're hearing in the background, Secret Revolution, I would say one of my favorite.
Oh,
From the disc.
thanks.
Yeah,
That one.
I was really happy when you played that live.
Oh,
on the show.
cool. Yeah, we that one was actually supposed to be on the first album, and it was called "Could Be Better" because it was a song that definitely could have been better. And then it was going to be on the second album, and it was called "Mirage," and I still didn't like it. And then I didn't think about it for the next like 5 years, and then I think it was like 3 weeks before the drag ball, I was sitting at the keyboards playing, just noodling, and the chord progression came back, and it actually made sense. So in one afternoon, I like pounded out a quick demo, recorded the lyrics, ran to our rehearsal. I was like, what do you think of this song? Sometimes I think something's really great, and I bring it to them, and they're like, yeah, you should try again. But everybody was like, oh my god, this is great. Yeah, let's do it. So we like tacked it onto the drag ball show and then put it into the album because it was like the last one to be put on the album.
Cool. Okay, so let's end with this.
Cool.
We've been chatting with Rue Mevlana live on the Howie Rose Variety Show. We'll still, you guys are going to leave a few CDs in case we get any calls?
Absolutely.
We'd love to give away some of these.
Absolutely.
Very limited edition pressing.
Yep, there's only so many of them in print.
And I like any CD that does not come in a jewel case. Like I like, you know,
Yeah.
non-hard plastic.
Yeah.
crack.
Well, everyone just kind of chucks those anyway.
Yeah. They end up in the Pacific garbage patch.
Yeah.
And whereas, you know, this is like a mini album. They call it mini LP sleeves. is what they
I
call
know.
these.
Someday we'll have
Great.
an actual vinyl.
Someday.
Oh yeah. Are you open to having a Rue track remixed?
Yeah,
remixer?
absolutely. Do you want to remix any of them?
Well, I was thinking more. We're friends with this mixing genius, Cosmic Matrix, and I don't know if he's even interested. Haven't mentioned it to him yet, but man, I'd love to hear what he did with one of your tracks.
Oh God, absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely send stems to whoever wants any of them. I'm down for that.
Didn't Rob Tycho, DJ Rob Tycho, was gonna do?
I sent him. He wanted to do a remix for Shooting Starlight, but I don't know whatever. I haven't heard it, so I don't know. But he's got the stems, so.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for letting us come on the show and chit chat.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
you.
Anytime.
It was a lot of fun.
Cool. So we'll go out with Secret Revolution by Rue Mevlana.
802-861-9666. Win a copy of their latest album.
to eye, or eye for an eye. Revenge is not a pleasure that I see. I let it rest and resume another week.
You knocked me down just to pick me up. Without a sound, you broke your loving cup. And now I'm free to live a life that's me. No more lies and infinity, only truth and divinity. My secret revolution, 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 my secret revolution.
And before that, of course, we heard a whole lot of Mevlana from their latest CD, Popcorn, just out. A very limited edition pressing of 100 copies in this mini LP sleeve. And we have 1 or 2 copies left to give away to lucky callers at 861-9666. That's 802-861-WOMM.
World of Mellotron, Matt.
Yeah, so you like that interview, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're they deliver. Mevlana, they're steady as she goes.
Yeah. Good fun.
Good
spunky
clean,
people. Yeah.
good clean family. It's PG-13 the whole way.
Oh yeah.
No, none of these like down and out drug. Not like Shark Victim with their
Right. Yeah.
loud, rough
That
corners.
was rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
No, we like to keep it smooth, clean, electronic, neat and tidy. Some Star Wars covers.